Welcome to another deep dive into a topic that's honestly pretty hard to keep up with these days. It's moving so fast.
Yeah.
We're talking large language models or LLMs, and
Mhm.
we're gonna go beyond just like the hype you hear everywhere these days.
Absolutely.
Really try to break down how these things work and what their impact might be.
Yeah, I think that's what's really fascinating about LLMs right now is that everyone's heard of them,
Right.
but very few people actually know like how they're trained,
Yeah.
the massive amounts of data that go into them,
It is kind of mind blowing.
and what they can do. Like they can generate text, translate languages, write different kinds of creative content.
I mean, it's like having this super powerful brain like in your pocket, basically.
It is. It's crazy.
And the thing is, I think a lot of people are using them without even realizing it.
Yeah.
If you think about like your phone predicting your next word or
Oh, yeah.
email filtering out spam.
Yeah, or even like, you know how Netflix recommend you movies you might like?
Oh, yeah.
That's all powered by AI, and that's all thanks to LLMs.
So they're already kind of integrated into our lives in a way.
Oh, absolutely. They're already here.
Yeah.
Um, but what I think is really remarkable is
Yeah.
how they're moving beyond just these simple tasks.
Right.
It's one thing to filter spam or predict your next word,
Yeah.
but it's another thing entirely to say, write a poem
Yeah.
or compose a piece of music.
Yeah. No, that's like next level stuff, right?
It is, and that's where it gets really interesting.
So how do they actually do that? I mean, how do you go from filtering spam to, writing a sonnet?
Right. Well, it all comes down to a very specific type of LLM architecture called transformers.
Okay, transformers.
Yeah, so imagine this network of interconnected nodes, and each of these nodes is analyzing a different aspect of language.
Okay.
So, grammar, context, even emotional tone.
Wow.
And by looking at all of these things together,
Yeah.
they can generate text that's not just grammatically correct, but also nuanced and creative.
So instead of just looking at like individual words, they're understanding like the relationships between words and
Exactly.
the context and all that.
Yeah, and that's where the magic really happens.
Okay. I mean, that is truly amazing.
It is.
But here's another thing that blows my mind. Okay. We're not just talking about text anymore.
Right.
Multimodal AI is like taking this to a whole new level.
It is. It really is. For years, AI was limited to the world of text and code.
Right.
But now with multimodal AI, these models can understand and process information from multiple sources,
Okay.
like images, audio, even video.
So can you give us an example of what that might look like in the real world?
Sure. So imagine you're traveling in a foreign country
Okay.
and you come across a sign in a language you don't understand.
Yeah.
With multimodal AI, you can simply point your phone at the sign and it would instantly translate it for you,
Wow.
combining image recognition with language processing.
Okay. That's officially in the future is now category.
It is.
I'm sold. I need that app like yesterday. And speaking of things that feel super futuristic, I have to bring up ChatGPT's new voice feature. Have you tried it out yet?
I have, and it's truly remarkable. It's amazing how just adding voice can make interactions with AI feel so much more natural
Yeah.
and intuitive.
Yeah. It's like we're moving beyond like typing commands into a screen,
Yeah, right.
It's starting to feel like we're having conversations.
Absolutely, and that's what's really exciting is this shift from like a tool-based relationship with computers
Yeah.
to something that feels much more like a collaboration.
Okay, so that brings us to another really exciting development, and that is the rise of proactive AI assistance.
Yeah.
So what does that mean, proactive? Does that mean like it's anticipating our needs and taking action before we even ask?
Exactly. So think about how you use your computer today.
Okay.
Sending emails, scheduling appointments, managing your calendar.
Yep, all the things.
Now imagine a computer that can not only do all of those things, but also suggest meeting times based on your availability, draft emails based on your past correspondence, even proactively remind you of upcoming deadlines.
So it's like having a personal assistant
It really is.
who's like always one step ahead of you,
That's the idea.
constantly learning from your habits and preferences.
Yeah, so it's a shift from reactive technology to proactive technology,
Okay.
where AI is not just responding to our commands, but actually anticipating our needs and helping us stay organized and efficient.
So this all sounds amazing,
It is pretty cool.
but I have to admit there's a part of me that's like, okay, where does this all lead?
Right.
What is the next step in this evolution of AI? What comes after this?
Well, that's where things get really interesting because we're moving beyond LLMs as we know them and into the realm of AI agents.
AI agents. Okay, so what's the difference between an LLM and an AI agent?
So an LLM is like a brilliant student who can follow instructions and complete tasks exceptionally well.
Okay.
But an AI agent is like a seasoned professional who can take those skills and apply them independently,
Okay.
making decisions and taking actions without constant human oversight.
So, like, what would an AI agent be able to do? Can you give us, like, a concrete example?
Absolutely. Imagine you have an AI agent managing your social media presence.
Okay.
It wouldn't just post the content you give it.
Yeah.
It would analyze trends, adapt its strategy based on real-time feedback, and even engage with your audience in a personalized way.
So it's like having a whole marketing team
Yeah,
working for you 24/7.
exactly. And that's where, it gets really powerful.
Yeah, that's incredibly powerful.
And it raises some really fascinating questions about, the future of work,
Yeah?
the role of human creativity, and how we interact with these increasingly intelligent machines.
So we're not just talking about technology anymore. We're talking about a fundamental shift in how we
Yeah.
live and work and everything.
It really is a societal shift.
It is. Okay, so before we get too lost in the future,
Right.
I want to bring things back to the present a little bit. And I'm curious, like, how do we actually get these powerful LLMs to do what we want?
Yeah.
I mean, they're incredibly complex systems.
They are.
How do we communicate with them effectively?
That's a great question. And that leads us to the fascinating world of prompt engineering.
Prompt engineer. Okay, it sounds like a secret code or something.
It's not quite a secret code, but it is a specialized skill. So think of it like this.
Okay.
If you were to ask a human to write you a poem,
Right.
you'd probably get a much better result if you provided some context,
Yeah.
right? A theme, a style, maybe even some keywords to inspire them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's the same with LLMs.
Okay.
It's not just about telling them what to do. It's about giving them the right information to work with.
So it's not just like write me a poem. It's like write me a poem about blah, blah, blah in this style.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Prompt engineering is all about crafting those really clear, detailed instructions
Okay.
that guide the LLM toward the desired outcome.
So it's almost like a blend of like art and science, right?
It is.
Understanding the technical capabilities of these LLMs,
Right.
but also mastering the nuances of human language.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it's a skill that I think is only going to become more and more valuable.
Right, because as these things get more and more complex, we need to be able to tell them what to do.
Absolutely.
It's almost like learning a new language,
Yeah.
but instead of communicating with another person,
Right.
you're communicating with the machine.
Exactly.
And the better you are at it, the more incredible results you can get.
Exactly. And so that's what we're going to delve into in our next deep dive.
Okay, so before we go there, though,
Yeah.
I have a question that's been kind of swirling in my head this whole time.
Okay.
Are we heading towards a world with like specialized AIs for every aspect of our lives? Or will there be one like superpowered AI agent
Right.
that manages it all?
That is the big question, isn't it?
Yep.
And it's one that we'll unpack in the next part of our deep dive,
Okay,
because there are two very different visions of the future,
right.
both with incredible potential and maybe a few risks
A few risks.
that we need to consider.
Okay, so stay tuned.
We'll be right back. So we left off talking about, are we moving toward a world with like tons of specialized AIs or one superpowered AI?
Right, like choosing between a team of experts or one ultimate generalist kind of thing.
Exactly. And, there are pros and cons to each approach. I think a multi-agent system could feel more manageable in a way. Imagine like an AI just for your home
Okay.
that anticipates your comfort needs,
Yeah.
adjusts the lighting and temperature, maybe even starts dinner based on what's in the fridge.
Okay, now you're talking my language like a personalized AI chef.
Right, exactly.
Sign me up.
But then on the other hand, wouldn't it be amazing to have one central AI that understands like your overall goals and preferences
Right.
and kind of orchestrates all these smaller agents to work together seamlessly?
Yeah, that's the appeal of like the single agent vision, right? It's like having this hyper intelligent personal assistant who just knows you better than you know yourself.
It is, but it's also, I can see how that could be a little intimidating for some people.
It is a little bit like, are we talking about just handing over control of our lives to an AI?
Well, I think the key is, ensuring that these AI agents are aligned with our values and our goals.
Right.
That we're the ones who are in control.
Yeah.
Setting the boundaries, providing the guidance.
So it's like I don't know, like training a dog or something. You set the rules,
Right.
provide positive reinforcement, and eventually you end up with this,
Well-behaved companion.
yeah, who like enriches your life.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. I think, we need to teach these AI agents how to work with us.
Right.
not for us.
Not take over the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about finding that balance between, human agency and AI assistance.
Yeah. So less AI takes over the world,
Right.
more AI manages our schedules perfectly and ensures we never miss a birthday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like that headline much better.
Right, me too.
Yeah.
But all joking aside, I mean, there's some serious questions here
Oh, absolutely.
about the potential impact of LLMs on society.
Yeah, like what happens to jobs that AI can automate?
Right. And
How do we ensure that these technologies are used ethically?
these are big questions that we as a society
Need to answer.
Yeah, we need to figure out.
Yeah.
It's almost like we need a new social contract for the age
Yeah.
of AI.
Totally.
Figure out how to coexist and thrive in this changing world.
But I think it's important to remember that amidst all of these, challenges,
Right.
there are also incredible opportunities.
Absolutely.
LLMs have the potential to solve some of humanity's biggest problems.
Yeah, like imagine AI-powered healthcare
Exactly.
systems that can, diagnose diseases with incredible accuracy,
Right.
personalized treatment plans.
Accelerate drug discovery.
It's like having a world-class doctor.
Available to everyone.
Yeah, available to everyone, regardless of, income or location.
Exactly. And think about education, too.
Yeah.
AI-powered tools that can adapt to individual learning styles,
Wow.
provide personalized feedback.
It's like having a world-class tutor, like, in your pocket.
It's really amazing to think about.
Yeah, that's the kind of future I can get behind.
Yeah.
But of course, we also have to be mindful of the potential downsides, right?
Of course, like the spread of misinformation,
Right.
the erosion of privacy.
Yeah, these are things we have to think about.
Yeah. As with any powerful technology,
Right.
there are risks and rewards.
Yeah.
And I think, it's on us to be thoughtful and deliberate in how we develop and deploy these systems.
So it's all about harnessing the power of these LLMs for good while mitigating potential harms.
It's a balancing act, but hey, I mean, humans are pretty good at those.
We've navigated, technological revolutions before,
Right.
and I'm confident that we'll find a way to do it again.
I am too. I'm optimistic.
Yeah.
I think, we have the capacity to shape the future of AI
Yeah.
in a way that benefits everyone.
But it's going to take collaboration,
Absolutely.
innovation, and a healthy dose of critical thinking. And speaking of critical thinking,
Yes.
let's talk a little bit more about prompt engineering, because
Yeah.
it's really like, learning to speak the language of AI so we can communicate effectively.
I agree. I think prompt engineering is a crucial skill in this age of AI.
Yeah, it's about understanding the nuances of language
Right.
and using it strategically to get the desired response from an LLM.
Exactly.
So it's not just about, typing in like a basic question.
Right.
It's about crafting this like carefully worded prompt that takes into account
Yeah.
the LLM's capabilities
Yeah.
and guides it toward the outcome that you want.
And that's a skill that I think, as I said, is only going to become increasingly valuable as LLMs become more and more integrated into our lives.
So what are some tips for mastering the art of prompt engineering? Any secrets you can share with our listeners?
Sure. So, there are a few key principles I think to keep in mind.
Yeah.
First, be specific.
Okay.
Don't just ask for a logo.
Yeah.
Describe, the type of business, the target audience, the style you want.
So like paint a picture with words, basically.
Exactly. Give the AI all the details it needs to create something truly remarkable.
Okay, what else?
Second, provide examples.
Okay.
Show the AI what you're looking for
Yeah.
by sharing examples of similar outputs.
So like if I wanted it to write a poem in the style of Shakespeare,
Yes.
I would give it like a few sonnets to kind of learn from.
Give it that context. And then third, be iterative.
Okay.
Don't expect to get a perfect result on the first try.
Yeah.
Experiment with different prompts.
Yeah.
Refine your instructions
Okay.
and see what works best.
So it's a back and forth kind of
It is.
between the human and the machine
It's a collaboration.
until you find that perfect rhythm.
Exactly. Prompt engineering is an ongoing process
Yeah.
of refinement and discovery. And as we get better at it, the possibilities are truly limitless.
It's like unlocking this whole new level of creativity
It is.
where humans and AI can collaborate to create some really amazing things.
I couldn't agree more. I think the future of LLMs is bright,
Yeah.
full of potential and possibility.
Okay.
And it's up to us to shape that future in a way that benefits all of humanity.
It's amazing to think how far we've come in just this short conversation about LLMs.
It really is, from understanding how they actually work
Yeah.
to envisioning these different futures.
Yeah.
multi-agent systems versus single agents. It's mind-blowing.
Yeah, and somewhere in the middle of all that, we're talking about like the role of human creativity and like the future of work.
Right, like how do we fit into this new world that we're creating?
Yeah, and honestly, I think it's a question that we're all grappling with right now.
Absolutely. It's like we're standing on the edge of this uncharted territory,
Yeah.
and we get to decide, what kind of world we want to build.
And that's, I think, what makes this conversation so important.
Yeah, we need to be having these discussions,
Yeah.
thinking critically about the implications of these technologies.
Right, because it's not just about the technology itself.
Yeah.
It's about how we choose to use it.
Exactly. It's about aligning these powerful tools with our values.
And I think that brings us back to the importance of prompt engineering.
Yeah.
Because the more we understand about how to communicate with these LLMs,
Right.
the more control we have over the outcomes.
The more we can shape their development.
Yeah, and ensure that they're used in a way that benefits everyone.
And I think that's really the key takeaway here.
Yeah,
LLMs are powerful tools with immense potential,
right.
but it's up to us
Yeah.
to use them wisely.
It's like that old saying, with great power comes great responsibility.
Exactly.
It applies to LLMs just as much as it does to anything else.
So I encourage everyone listening
Yeah.
to keep learning about these technologies, to stay engaged in these conversations, and to think critically about how we can shape the future of AI in a positive way.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Yeah,
Well, this has been an incredible journey, I think, through the world of LLM.
it really has.
We've explored their inner workings, pondered their impact on our lives, delved into the art of prompt engineering.
Yeah, I feel like we've barely scratched the surface.
I know, right? There's so much more to explore.
But hopefully this has given our listeners a good foundation.
Yeah, a good starting point for their own explorations.
Exactly.
And remember, the conversation doesn't end here.
Yeah.
So if you're feeling inspired or maybe even a little bit provoked by what you've heard today, we'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely.
Share your thoughts on social media or with a friend. Let's keep this conversation going because the future of AI is something that we all have a stake in.
It's too important to leave it to the experts.
Couldn't agree more.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
And thanks to you for sharing your expertise today.
It's been my pleasure.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI.